has always been the moral compass, source of outrage, evenly tempered now for the past decade, working in other metro agencies, but certainly throwing my healthy share of constructive critique toward other agencies. So I look forward to doing that with all of you and learning a lot. I'm a proud parent of two. I'm a transracial adoptee, so I look forward to getting to know many of you over the coming months. And I've worked with this staff and among them in other venues for a while, so I'm very excited to learn a lot from them. They've already shown me so much grace, and that applause is probably as much as I can hope for. So if I was a George Costanza from Friends, I would just leave the room at this point, but I'll stick around and see what else there is to learn.
So while we wait for the one additional person to come, we've asked Larry Turnley to come and spend a few minutes to tell you about him and his work as being our representative on the procurement board. A few years ago, MHRC was lobbied for and attained the ability to appoint one person to the procurement board. Larry is our inaugural individual who's been on the procurement board for a couple of years. So we just asked him to come through and to, for those of you who don't know him, to maybe get to learn a little bit about him and for him to share what he does on the procurement board and why he feels that that position is so important. This is Larry Turnley.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Larry Turnley, and thanks to you all, I serve on the Procurement Standard Board.
Enough, right? Hold up a minute.
Sorry.
Let's go ahead and call the meeting. Hold, I'm sorry.
Okay, we now have quorum, so I'm going to call the meeting to order. I'm confirming quorum. We are going to move quickly to, agenda item, 7, and have Larry Turnley speak very quickly on his time on the procurement board, and then we can come back up for any other, I don't think we have public comments today, and then go into financial and into old business. So please continue, Larry, or please begin, Larry.
All right. Greetings, everyone. Again, my name is Larry Turnley, and I currently serve on the Procurement Standard Board, thanks to the Human Relations Commission. And I've been asked to lead a subcommittee next month that's dealing with, well, in October, on the Procurement Standard Board, that's dealing with removing barriers for justice impacted individuals when it comes to businesses, because currently there's no, preemption in that area. So if any of you all could, help me in identifying where some barriers may be at as it relates to justice impacted individuals owning and operating businesses and procurement, I'm open to you all's assistance.
Larry, will you tell them what justice impacted individuals are in case someone may not know?
Yes, justice impacted individuals are individuals who are indirectly or directly impacted by our criminal justice system, which I am a justice impacted individual because I served 20 years in federal prison and I was sentenced to life in 1996. So, and thankful when they changed the crack law, my sentence was reduced and I got immediate release in 2016.
Larry, the only thing that comes to my mind, obviously, is trying to get loan. I remember when we were talking about procurement, you were saying this a lot, is that you have to be a certain level of business and have a certain level of revenue and an ability to take a certain level of credit to even be viable for some of these options, for some of these opportunities. So that's the one that comes to my mind is it hard? I'm guessing it is, to get to that level of credit, whatever worthiness or, debt that they want you to have to be able to be even, eligible for some of this. I mean, you have to be a certain level of business, and I think that's really hard. So tell me, I don't know, what you think about that.
Yes, because currently I am a business owner. I have a junk removal business, and I have tried, which I identify some areas to them, like trying to navigate the portal. The portal is very confusing, and they said that they would take a look at that, along with identifying as a minority-owned business or a small business, which to be able to have any of those titles, you have to have your business must have made like over $30,000 or $40,000. But as I told them, since COVID, it's been hard on a lot of businesses trying to, get work or whatever the case may be. So they said that they was going to have justice impacted individuals self-identify. So they was going to put that as just like women-owned business, veteran-owned business. But then once they looked at it, they said that they don't see where they can find the data for that. So, in our next meeting, which I'm going to ask them, how did they go about finding LGBTQ businesses? How, what was the process on that? And maybe they can do the same thing for justice impacted individuals.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wasn't positive. Hi, thank you for being here. So I would love to help you. I also own a small business and I'm in the criminal justice field, so I feel like this could be a good marrying point. But what was interesting to me is that is this specifically for Metro, or are you trying to bring this statewide? What are your?
Well, it's just for Metro.
Okay, and
right
Metro is telling you that they can't figure out how to figure out what someone's criminal background is?
No, the only thing they said was under self-identifying as justice impacted, whether they can apply that title the same way as women-owned businesses. You can have justice impacted owned businesses.
Yeah.
So there's a portal for procurement.
No, I know.
And so it's just a check box, like, can
Yes.
we add that,
Yes.
a way of identifying yourself when you're filling out that portal?
I guess I'm just not understanding, yeah, because I've been on the portal and it's a hot mess.
Yes.
But I don't understand if it's just like, women and minorities and even veterans, we self-identify all the time. And then they come back and kind of check our statuses. And then there's a process for that. So why, I'm not understanding the reason why Metro Procurement is telling you that that's not something that you can self-identify with, if it's just the checking of a box. I'm not, did they give you a reason?
It was more like, how can they retrieve that data to, I guess, have enough people to, I guess, present that. So, it was just a brief Zoom call. Because
Okay.
once I brought this to their attention, they said that they wanted to look deeply into justice impacted on businesses. And we've had a follow-up meeting to that, and which they said in our next meeting, they're going to do a subcommittee, and they would like for me to lead that meeting, or lead that committee, or just work with them in some capacity.
Howdy.
Hey, how
It's
you
good
doing,
to see you. I actually think I still have one of your old business cards
Yes,
in my purse, so it's good to see you
Likewise.
here today. Just a quick question, just to clarify as a follow-up on that. So were they receptive and then it was figuring out a way, or did you feel like you were facing roadblocks, or that they were receptive to trying to figure out a way in that process?
Oh, they was very receptive.
Okay.
This is something that they really want to look into. In particular, I think his name is David, who's kind of over the procurement standard board right now. He has a friend who's a convicted felon, and he told that story on how he felt that this would be good for justice impacted individuals.
Good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine. It's good to see you again. I would like to just suggest for you to have and to build an allyship with THEI, and that's the Tennessee Higher Education Initiative, and they work with men and women behind the bars getting an education when they come out. They are ready to go into the workforce or start business. They are in this situation, I think it would be a great mirror for the services that you are trying to help others have. It would be a great partnership, or for you Lisa guys to have resources, shared resources. And then also, and the executive director of that program is Dr. Laura Ferguson Mims, and I can give you her contact as well. But I also think it's important to have family members who are also part of that impact. You know, they have also served time as well, and some of them may be able to have businesses or show how not being able to have access to certain things impact them as well. So 2 resources I can give to you right away before this meeting is, once this meeting is over. But thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. And I would definitely love to have those resources right there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Larry.
All right. Thank you all.
Seriously.
Yes.
Larry contributes in a lot of ways to our community, so I'm very grateful to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for everybody who was around and got us that procurement board seat. I think it's a big deal towards equity. Okay, then I'm gonna go back to the top and say, we don't have public comments. So we're gonna review and approve the minutes. If I can get a motion.
So moved.
A second, thank you. Anybody against or abstaining? All right, great. So we have approved the minutes. Financial update. A lot of times these, like July and August, we don't even have meetings, so, yeah. Blank space, yeah, let's go. Okay, old business, new commissioner orientation, the big party, just kidding, but the big orientation is, I guess in 2 weeks.
Yes, it is, and we just wanted to add a little bit more emphasis to, again, ask everyone to come out. And even if you are an old commissioner, it may be good that if you could, to come and be a part of this. It'll be a lot of the old information, but as we've learned some things along the way, we will have those things included in the packet also.
Sounds great.
And there is food.
Who plans to be there? Just, yeah. Is this like you gonna be there or you wanna be there? Okay, cool. That's a good group. You like
We're
how I
looking forward
use
to
that, in-person shaming? Okay. Then let's go to my favorite committee chair, Mr. Charles Trauber.
All right, so this.
Oh, wait, arts update was under there, under old business. Do you want to do that?
We are in the final signing of the conciliation agreement. That's not yet been completed. We do have some copies that are not for distribution because it's not been totally executed, so that if any of the commissioners would like to see what that is, we do have that. So we're just waiting to try to get all of the signatures. I'll now give it to Ashley, who will. Are there any particulars or anything you'd like to add to that? Or do you all have any questions?
Anything good, because we were like, we voted yes to this general idea, and now you have like the actual list and what that looks like. Anything that you can talk about in that that's different or bigger or smaller than we thought it would be? And if not, I can just look at the copy.
It's kind of just putting more details to the points that were on the list. So we've confirmed the individual names and organizations of the payments that are to be authorized through this. We've put some deadlines, calendar deadlines for receiving like a community engagement plan from the Arts Commission and timelines on things like decisions and potential legislation to be drafted around, what is to become of the Thrive program, since there are likely some tweaks needed to be made to that. So there's no like new headers in the agreement. It's the same points in the agreement in principle from last month. But if anybody would like details on like timelines or things like that, we can share that. We can show you.
Okay, then I think we can move on. We trust you, just keep going.
Well, what were you going to say?
This Friday is when did we say that?
Oh, yeah, we're supposed to have all the signatures by this Friday. It was supposed to be the 31st. We've extended it. It's a conciliation agreement. And I think it moves us forward in substantial ways. And I think it creates a springboard for continuing to seek justice in that area. And I think it may even provide a template of application in other parts of Metro.
Okay, then Charles, do you want to talk about the nominations?
Yes. So the nominating committee met last week. It's a committee of two. It's John Mastringer and myself, and it was a very efficient meeting, I must say. So we developed a slate for the officers of this commission. And just for the particulars, under our bylaws Article 7, Section 4, says that the nominating committee will recommend commissioners for the officer roles. We will consider, along with other relevant criteria, interest in serving on the executive committee, attendance at commission meetings, participation in the mission of the commission, and responsiveness to staff and the commission. And those things were considered by Jama and myself, and we are presenting a slate for approval. The slate will be Chair Ben Tran, First Vice Chair myself, Charles Trauber, Second Vice Chair Dakota Galvin, Secretary Larea Quachi, and Treasurer Jeff Teague. So with that slate, I will entertain a motion or any comments or discussion.
I don't know whether it's right to insert that here or not, but there can also be nominations from the floor, also for folks who may not have been included in the nomination committee's nominations.
And I don't know if people know who our currents are, so that there's there's a progression from the people that are currently serving in these roles, if that helps.
Yes, the chair
Ben is the first vice chair. I'm the chair. Ben's the first vice chair. Charles is the second vice chair. Larea, are you
currently secretary.
currently secretary? And then,
Currently treasurer.
yes, because you hopped into that role. Thank you. Just for everyone to know.
Yep, apologies for not including that.
All right, I'm happy to, can I do a motion? I never do.
You can do a motion. Yep.
So if I could just suggest for Robert's rules, this is just a suggestion, but it might be easier if you take each position one at a time, ask for a call for any other nominations, and then once the nominations, if there are any, are submitted, you close the nominations, and then you can take a vote. Under Robert's rules, it doesn't actually require a motion, it's just a vote, so.
So are there any other nominations for chair? Ben Tran is the only person nominated for chair. Are there any other nominations for vice chair? I am the only person nominated for vice chair. We will welcome other nominees for vice chair. All right, second vice chair. The nominee is Dakota Galvin. Any other nominations for second vice chair? All right, for secretary, the nominee is Larea Quachi. Any other nominations for secretary? And lastly, the nominee for treasurer is Jeff Teague. Any other nominations for treasurer? All right, let the record reflect there were no other nominations for any of the officer positions. And Matthew, just do we need a vote, need a motion, and then vote on the slate as it is?
You don't need a motion, but if you could just take each, chair, vice chair, go down the list and just do the vote, but you don't need a motion. All in favor.
We can't take the whole slate and just do a vote on the slate?
If you want to follow as Robert's rules, I think, just take it each one, and then call for the vote. And
All
then
right.
Move to the next.
All right, so first up for chair, Ben Tran is the only nominee. Are there any opposing? All right, then Ben is our new chair. Congratulations, Ben. All right, next we have vice chair. I am the only nominee for vice chair. Anyone opposing? We will take anyone opposing if we can get someone opposing. All right, seeing none, then I will take over vice chair. All right, next we have second vice chair is Dakota Galvin. He's the only nominee. Are there any other nominations? Or, excuse me, any opposing? All right. You sure about this?
I'm honored.
All right, second vice chair is Dakota. All right, next we have Secretary Larea Quachi. She is the only nominee. Are there any opposing? All right, seeing none, Larea will serve her second term as secretary. And then lastly, we have for treasurer, Jeff Teague, again being the only nominee. Are there any opposing? All right, Jeff Teague is treasurer, second term. All right, I think that's it for me.
Thank you, Executive Officer Nominating Committee. You guys are excellent. What? I don't know. Is Ben starting right now?
Typically,
it's effective starting the next.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
You took it out.
I go, yeah. I was like, yeah.
So
He's tired of hearing my voice.
you get to bring the truck onto the curb.
It's been. That's the best saying
Heavy
ever.
is the hand that holds the gavel.
I got no gavel. All right, then we're going on to more committee stuff. So we had a bylaws and rules committee of our two favorite lawyers, Charles and Irwin. Irwin was the chair. He's no longer on the commission. It looks like we need a new chair for that. Is that right? This is about, yeah.
Yes.
So, who wants to be on this? It's a great committee to be on. You want, what do you?
No, can you say more about what it does? So people
Yeah, so, and it probably you will need to add to this. Or why don't you just say it? Go for it.
Well, the committee just reviewed our bylaws and rules and to see if there were any changes that were necessary to be made or thought to be made to clarify any ambiguity or whatnot on there. So they've met a few times in the fall and winter, right? So it's been going on for about almost a year, 3/4 of a year. Yeah, off and on. So basically, it's a review of our bylaws and committees and how we function and get things done. It's a matter of the how and the procedures by which we would follow.
And Chair, if I could add, there are several things now that need to be included and changed, and there were several things that came up during the discussion that we need to resolve. And by getting us a chair, we want to move on toward resolving that to make sure that our rules and our bylaws match the code, and that there are no, hopefully, to reduce the ambiguities that seem to exist in certain places right now. So that's the goal of that.
Yeah, it's a little bit more interesting than it sounds.
If I might could ask, and I don't know whether this is appropriate or not, I will soon find out. Vice Chair Trauber, you've been involved in that, and Ben is going to be the chair. And, you know, the committee is kind of winding down on the arts thing. I'm trying to build a case here.
Yeah.
And I'm being reminded.
Build a case for me to hand it off,
Yeah.
right, is what I.
No.
Well, maybe so. Because I think that the work that has been done through various issues that have come up in MHRC trying to do what MHRC is called to do, there's been a couple conflicts with how we read our bylaws versus what's in the code, and even vice versa. And I think that it would be a good thing if we could.
If he were to agree to that, do we need another person though on the committee, or?
No, yes, we need a committee. We just need someone.
Okay.
I mean, technically, I'm still on the committee.
Yes.
Right, so,
So you will be the chair of the committee that you're on. I'm trying to pull some people on.
but to be a committee, it has to be more than one
Yes,
person.
exactly.
right?
That's what I'm
Yes.
working on.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to tell people that what's interesting about this is that as MHRC really takes its Title VI responsibility seriously, and as it is the conscious of the Metro, what it can do and how that is defined and clarified is very important. And we have had some problems of, inconsistencies between the code and the bylaws and some other documents we found. And so these guys delved into that and really tried to pull that out. And it just got some unfinished work. So if you are curious about that and want to build out, this future role of MHRC, I think this is a really cool committee to be on. That's what I'm trying to say. So, and if you've never been on a committee and want to try that out, I think it's also a good thing to do. Yeah, there we go. So Darren will join.
I am curious by law. So this is, since my nomination, been really diving into what those look like, just to get a sense of the organization. But I've actually already been going through it with a highlighter, quite literally, trying to suss out where kind of the key aspects of the commission's mission are, where there are points of friction, again, from the outside, not having done it from the committee side, but just trying to get a sense of what we're called to do, how that's understood organizationally, and then how the commission has worked to implement that. So I'm certainly interested should there be an opening.
Got the thumbs up, sir. Okay, great. So back to you, Matt. Can we do a motion for them both? Oh, I can appoint.
The chair is the one who appoints.
Okay,
the
great. Then I
chairs.
appoint Charles as the chair of the Bylaws and Rules Committee and Darren as a member of that committee. And we're good.
Well, I would ask that if there could at least be one more
Yeah, okay.
person who would,
It's a great way to figure out. Yeah, there we go.
Thank you.
I was
Thank
looking
you.
at you.
Thank
You were avoiding my gaze, but I was looking at you. All right, awesome. So now we have three. And anybody else, now that it's an exciting new role for people to be on? You said yes?
I've been on it, but I haven't been to a meeting because of the time, but
You-
I'm keeping up, and I would love to be able to.
Oh, amazing.
Transition that to where it needs to be.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we now have 4 members of this committee. So we have Charles, Darren, Todd, is that correct?
Todd McKinney.
Yes, Todd, and Gemma are on that committee, and Charles is the chair. Godspeed, you guys are gonna crush it.
excuse me, Madam Chair, and just for scheduling meetings, I think this would be a good time. Would it be, normally it's good if we stack them, if we have a executive committee meeting, to maybe have this meeting before or after. We're just trying to be mindful of your time, if that's more convenient, particularly since Charles is on the executive committee also, and then that would negate the need for having to call another meeting at another time during the month. We just kind of need to know so that we can try to best set up appointments for y'all to do the work.
This is kind of an open question to y'all. I would highly recommend stacking them, so you're only going downtown one day, and then right, Charles? Right. We were doing them on Friday, at least executive committee. I don't know if that's a good day for everybody. Is that still a good day? There you go.
That's going to be the only day that works for me this semester, yeah.
The future chair has
Keep Friday.
spoken.
Yeah.
So Fridays it is, typically like 10 or 11. Okay?
Yeah. And we should add that the meetings are open to other commissioners.
Yeah.
Who are, or want to come on any given day, are available.
Does that give you enough to work with? Okay, great. So productive. So then, we already heard from Larry, thank you again. Let's hear about your anti-hate campaign that y'all are working on.
We are trying our best to get a strategy together. We're still moving, we're still meeting and talking about it weekly, and we're kind of looking at three different areas as it relates to education and awareness, and then engagement with the community, and also the idea of protocols for different types of hate. How far along do you think we are, Ashley, from your estimation, candidly? It's such a wide thing, and we want to make sure that we give great attention to making it be as impactful as we can. There's a lot of community engagement that will go in it. We actually thought we would have a little bit better markup, but we started another process just last week again to map it out. And I'm the one that's overly anxious, and it is because I'm surrounded by such great staff that they are making sure that all the I's get dotted and the T's get crossed. Because I just see right now that that's one of the existential threats, and it's showing up everywhere. You have groups that are ostracized by hate who practice it themselves within the group of folk who experience hate. And particularly in the political arena of trying to help people understand the way in which it shows up in laws, that hate is like a residue, it's that it lays on something, that it's a part of something. It's almost like a cancer that attacks a body. And trying to frame it in a way that we can make it an ongoing process, and that it, excuse me, and that it fits where it can a lot of the work that we're doing now. So I am being properly restrained by staff till we cross all the I's and dot the T's. See, I think I said that backwards, right? It's dotting the I's and crossing the T's. But as soon as we continue to move on with that, we will roll that out to you.
You should be the spokesperson for the president. I don't know what you just said.
We count on you to shake things up. You need to cross I's and dot T's.
Okay, yeah, cross eyes, dot T's. I can't, this is so juicy. I'm very excited to see what this is. It sounds very thoughtful, which is what we need. I cannot wait. I'm glad I'll still be around to see it.
I have a question on that.
Yes.
So just from a protocol and standpoint, just the way that, so that I understand, you guys are putting together a campaign and then we'll vote on it? Or is there a place where you would want our opinions on it? How does that all work?
Well, normally it would fit within the scope of our work falls within what we do, that we would put it together. And if that's something that the commission would want, what we are trying to be is data-driven around what are the forms of hate, what are the most used categories that the government uses. But in addressing hate, we also know that it's a tenuous issue, that we would present it to you prior to launching it, but I have not been operating under the idea that I would need commission approval.
I guess I was just asking for, is there an opportunity for our, input into what the campaign looks like, especially for the different types of communities that we just inherently represent, and how our communities might want to see an anti-hate campaign rolled out, just from our own community perspective. I guess this is very near and dear at the moment, since we've just gone through so much turmoil in my particular community.
Well, and I hear you. And what we're approaching this is from our duty as a governmental office, that being aware of that. And again, nature in which one of the things that I find interesting, and I just said it a while ago, is how you can have groups who are overwhelmingly represented as groups that acts of hate are enacted on, who also practice hate within inside of their own groups. And as the MHRC, we should be, in my hope, aspiring to pulling all of us toward our better selves, that in some situations that may get a bit hairy, and we're trying to really avoid that. We think hates of all forms. I operate in a situation where religious hate is one of the top four, but also religious institutions are often the ones that are most hateful toward some groups, particularly LGBT groups. So we're going to seek to level that. All of that is problematic. That and again, I'm really trying to pick my words here. When religious institutions, by their power in their communities, can be a carrier of hate, and again, using religious institutions, hate sometimes toward members of the LGBTQ community, how do you wrestle to present both of them and the damage that they cause to the common good, to our collective body politic, and that as we put it together, we would have no problem coming. But I think the idea, and I hear what you're saying, I think I'm trying to hear what you're not saying, and so I would love to maybe, we can meet. We'll definitely bring what we're going to do before this commission, but if there's something in particular, I'd be glad to hear it.
Okay, great. All right, well, good luck to getting there. And can't wait to see more details. Generally, y'all have crushed these things, so I'm looking forward to it. All right, community engagement. That would typically be Kati. She's not here.
Yeah, Kathy is at sick today, so she just asked me to, of course, wish everyone good things if you have children in your life, school staff, educators who are starting school this week. So we're rooting for everyone and wish everyone a good school year. We know there's a lot going on with preparation for that and surrounding events. The sort of event we wanted to just let everybody know is that preparation for MLK weekend, annual weekend every year in January, is underway. As always, we are represented on the planning committee, and so the committees are doing their work. I think we're especially involved in the youth symposium this year, and so a lot of exciting ideas being sort of spun up for that if anybody wants to be involved in any of the planning committees. I believe that's open to all of you as commissioners, and that's what we got. If any of you have community announcements, of course, welcome those as well.
Are you saying we should be part of the planning committee or just telling us that we should be there in January?
I would say you need to be there in January. Because again, the planning committee actually meets every other Wednesday. And that's a considerable time thing, but we are represented. Kathy attends them all, and Kathy and Crystal are actually heading up the youth symposium of this year's segment of the MLK Day celebration.
Question. Just a question for you all. The applications for the Change Making 101, are they live? The Change Making in Metro, that series of classes. Have you all had Just curious if you've had many applications come in yet.
No, so we haven't launched that yet. We're sort of working on a couple internal things. And so, yeah, we don't have that on the agenda to give y'all an update of that, but expect it next month. Is it on the agenda? It looks like you're seeing it somewhere. Okay. I think we were going to bring it to y'all last month, and we didn't get to it because the agenda ran late, but we don't have an update for you today right now.
Okay. Do you see something? Well, it was email from mid-July. Yeah, that just said that applications were open, so that's the only reason I asked.
Yes, I definitely have to
Sorry.
look into that. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. And before we go back to you, Chair, for adjournment or whatever, I just want to recognize that this is Kozar's last night as a commissioner of the Metro Human Relations Commission. I met him when he was in high school, and it seems like so many years ago. And I've watched him throughout his maturation and becoming a community-minded person, to go into Turk, and now he's headed off to Yale Law School. I have a personal affinity with Kozar, as you can probably tell, and so I'm extremely grateful to have encountered him at this junction in his life. And my word to you is, don't seek success. A lot of people are. Seek significance. Few of us ever make it. Kozar.
No, thank you so much, Pastor Tucker. I really, really appreciate everyone here, and I mean, especially you. You know, you saw me. I mean, I can remember coming to you right during the pandemic about an initiative that a couple of my friends from high school were starting on, and you have just been a mentor and a supporting hand throughout this entire process. And very grateful to have been under your stewardship. Very grateful to have encountered you all. And I mean, this isn't a goodbye to see you later. I'm still gonna be involved in whatever way I can. I'll be back at any points in time, but we'll be supporting the amazing work that you all will be doing from a distance, and we'll be cheering you all on. But very, very grateful for this time, and I feel like I've just had a better sense of appreciation for the work that everyone does here, and I don't know, I'm just eternally grateful for each and every one of you and whoever has been a part of my process and being here. So thank you all so much.
And one final thing, this is also the last meeting of our current chair, Miriam Abel-Fazl, who what I have come to appreciate, that I'm sure you notice also, I appreciate it because I often need some of that in my life. I appreciate her doggedness. And we have had a couple of contentious moments. We've been in public spaces in some contentious moments. And what I appreciate is neither one of us turned the button to 10 at the same time. And I appreciate your support of the commission. I appreciate your unwavering support of us when we stirred waters and called you and you had to say, y'all did what? And I said, yeah, but this is why. Your support of our work and knowing that even sometimes when we don't get it exactly right, you've been gracious to us. So thank you for your service to the Human Relations Commission.
I prepared a 22-point message on my chairmanship, but no, I'm just kidding. I will not do that to y'all. I will cry, though, because this has been deeply personal work. And I guess we started right at the exact same time. And we did a number to this commission, you and I. It's a different beast than it was when we first got here. I'm immensely proud of working alongside the best brains and the biggest hearts in this city. I've learned and grown so much from all these smarty pantses, from such different POVs and perspectives. It reminds me of when I went to UFOG, honestly. Like, that's the kind of growth I've gotten in terms of diversity and perspectives and brains. So I'm so grateful to you and your courage, and to you all. Just keep going. It's just gonna be amazing what everybody's up to. Can I get to details? Our next meeting is right on Labor Day. So is it the week after? I just want everybody to know that so they come for quorum for the first meeting of Chair Tran. Okay, so the 6th. But otherwise, this is the coolest commission in the city, and we are all honored to be here and to work with this team and you, sir, our executive director. So thank you so much. It's been pivotal. Keep going, have courage, stand your ground, but be balanced. That's what I would say. All right, can we get a motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
No abstentions, no one against, then this meeting is adjourned.
Can we take a group photo? If that's okay? Yeah.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.